Thank you so much to our Patreon sponsor, Dr. Dread. Hello everyone, my name is Andrew AJT and welcome to all of the world record speedruns for Super Melee Adventure 64 100%, all played by myself. So this is a ROM hack, a fan-made mod of Super Mario 64, and in this ROM hack it's based on the adventure mode from Super Smash Bros. Melee, and there's 7 characters that you can play as in this ROM hack. There's Mario, Luigi, Fox, Falcon, Ness, and also 2 parody characters, Garfield and Peter Griffin, and each of these characters has their own unique abilities and pros and cons and different types of jumps. It's really interesting to speedrun this game because each character plays so differently. So this is 7 individual speedruns put into one video. Most of these speedruns were done on separate days, but instead of uploading 7 videos of each different speedrun, I figured why don't I just put them all into one big compilation video, even though they are separate runs done at separate times. And yes, this is the world record for each of these characters, which was not easy to get, especially for some characters. The pre-existing world records for these characters on speedrun.com were actually pretty good and pretty tough to beat as well, especially the Luigi one took a lot of tries, over 300 actually. The only one that was really easy was Peter Griffin because he had no other submitted runs, and Garfield only had 1 run on the leaderboard. But for the 5 main Nintendo characters, it was not very easy to get some of these world records, so I'm really happy with how these runs went. So this ROM hack was made by Pasta Power, based on the original Mario 64, of course made by Nintendo, and I will link his trailer for the ROM hack in the description, in addition to the leaderboard for the speedruns of this game. And so the way this video will work is I'm not going to commentate the full hour, but I will do some commentary at the start of each run to tell you a little bit about the character and how the run went and the strategies I used for that character to get the world record. So my commentary will kind of pop in and out throughout the run basically as we show each run here, and you'll know the next run is about to start because after completing the game with each character, there's an ending screen and then the announcer says congratulations, and after that the next run will start. And for your convenience, I'll also put the YouTube chapters thing in the video and also in the description. So just some words about the Mario run. Mario plays exactly the same as he does in Mario 64, which is not a bad thing, and his new model from Melee and also a new triple jump animation looks really cool. And the interesting thing about running this is you can do the stages in any order without really losing any time, and sometimes for certain characters it's actually worth doing the stages in a different order. So for example, the Hyrule stage has a pretty difficult skip in the beginning for Mario, so I choose to do that one first in the Mario speedrun because it's one of the more inconsistent tricks, so you might as well get it out of the way early. But in the next run, for example, with Luigi, that skip in Hyrule is a little bit easier, so I actually opt to do the Pokemon Stadium stage first, the fight against the Pikachus, because that's one of the more random areas of the speedrun, and it's also inconsistent, so I choose to complete the Pokemon Stadium stage first in some of the characters' runs where the Hyrule stage is a bit easier because of their jumping ability. I also apologize for my voice, by the way. I'm still getting my voice back after being sick, although it's definitely a lot better than the last video. The last general information thing to mention is that the timing for the speedrun starts at the first frame that you can see the title screen logo when you reset the game, and it ends at the first frame of the celebration animation when you collect the star. And because I start the timer when I reset the game, my timer actually starts around a second early, so most of these speedruns will actually be around a second faster than what the actual live split says on the left. Like this run will clock in at a 7:40 on the timer, but the actual retime of it is 7:39. And if I ever improve any of the world records for these characters, I'll definitely add the YouTube link for the new run in the description, and I'll also link my speedrun.com profile and the leaderboards for this game in the description so you can see the most up-to-date runs. Although I might go back to regular Mario 64 speedruns soon, so These world records might stand for a while, although I certainly invite anyone else to try to beat them because more competition would always be fun. So yeah, enjoy the rest of the Mario run. This run went pretty good overall, and I will speak to you in a couple minutes at the start of the Luigi run. So here's the Luigi run, which I said was the most difficult world record to get. This run was 7:04, and the previous world record by Moonshine X3 was 7:08. And the thing that really helped me get the world record here was this really good Pikachu segment. So this Pikachu stage is really luck-based, but also skill-based as well, because you have to react really quickly to where these Pikachus are going to go. The goal is to defeat at least all but one Pikachu and get the blue coins from each of them. And this is really hard because they run around like crazy, and it's kind of random, and you just have to react really well. But it went really well in this run. I managed to get it in 42 seconds there, which is really, really good. A good one, I would say, is like 50 to 59 seconds, so 42 seconds is really, really amazing. Because that was my best ever Pikachu segment, I actually did not go for some risky strats that I had actually learned earlier in that day. There's a jump you can do at that ledge to get up to this final plank a little bit earlier, and that saves maybe 2.5 seconds, and there's a different route for the red coins in Corneria that I would say saves maybe 3.5 seconds, and I didn't go for either strat in this run because that Pikachu segment was something that could be like 1 in 1,000, so I'm not going to risk those difficult strats for a small time save because they could end the run if I mess them up. Maybe at the end of the video I'll show those strats as a bonus though. And the rest of this run was really good as well. The Mushroom Kingdom segment was a little bit sloppy. I lost maybe 4 seconds, but other than that, the rest of this run was really good as well for the strats I went for. My current sum of best is 652, so sub 7 is definitely possible, but it would be really difficult, and you would also need a similar really good Pikachu segment, which is, like I said, very, very rare to get one that good. I was actually really nervous during like most of this run, and I still managed to play well because I knew I might not be able to get a Pikachu segment that good again, so this is really like my one chance to have a run this amazing. And the end of the run has a Bowser throw as well, as you saw with the Mario run, and it's easy to mess that throw up, especially if you're nervous, so I'm glad I was able to get it this run, because if you miss it, it wastes about 15 seconds, and I can't afford a time loss like that in a run so short. So anyway, enjoy the rest of the world record, and I'll speak to you at the beginning of the Fox McCloud run. So here's the world record for Fox, and Fox is probably the most difficult character to play in this game, at least of the 5 Nintendo characters, because he has a really fast falling speed and his jumps are overall not very good. He is really fast though, which does help with this Pikachu segment. His one really good strength though is he has the up B from Super Smash Bros. Melee, which is a really good jump and it can be used really well in stages like Mushroom Kingdom and Brinstar. It's a bit tricky to use though because he can't wall jump out of it or grab ledges, and he also bounces a couple times after landing from it, so you have to be really precise with it, but it does help in stages like Mushroom Kingdom, for example. And because Fox's jumps are overall not very good, he can't do the skip in Hyrule to skip like most of the stage like we did with Mario and Luigi, so we actually have to do Hyrule the intended route, which is not very easy with his jumps actually. So this run is pretty cool overall. Definitely very improvable because it's just tough to get a very clean run with Fox, but still this went pretty good overall. The up B ability also replaces his long jumps, so jumps on these platforms right here are actually very precise because you can't use the long jump without using that big up B move. Anyway, I'll talk to you at the start of the next run for Captain Falcon.
Mission complete! Mission complete! Mission complete. Ha ha ha! Hey ha! Mission complete. Mission complete.
Congratulations!
So Captain Falcon is another interesting character. He is very fast, just like Fox, but he does not have, obviously, that up B ability, but his normal jumps are a little bit better than Fox's, and it actually allows him to do the high roll skip here, but it is really difficult. My consistency with this is maybe like 25%, that skip you saw right there, and also the one right here. This is pretty precise, to be honest, so it's hard to get runs going with Falcon because it's a lot of resets to that skip right there. It's also worth mentioning for that final long jump wall kick during the skip there, you have to be facing very slightly to the left because if you're facing directly up, you'll be at an angle where you can't wall kick. So Falcon being very fast also definitely helps with the Pikachu stage, but he has a very bad triple jump, so he actually can't do the skip in Mushroom Kingdom at the very start to jump up onto that higher platform. So we actually have to do the intended route for that stage, which is much different. Because of the limitations of Fox and Captain Falcon, I would say these two runs out of the main 5 Nintendo characters are probably the most improvable world records, but they still went really well overall. So enjoy the run, and I'll speak to you at the start of the next run for Ness, which is also a very unique character.
Congratulations!
So the Ness run is really interesting. He has no triple jump, and his long jump is kind of really bad, actually. But he does have one really good jump, and that's his double jump, which is basically his melee double jump, except it's not a mid-air jump. And this allows him to do some really good jumps in other stages, and the only downside of this jump is you can't wall kick from it, and you can't grab ledges as well. But see, his long jump does not go very far, so some of those jumps are fairly precise. And as you'll notice, I'm not doing high roll skip as well. There's the special double jump there, which you can dive out of, which is a very nice feature of it. So there is actually a way to do high roll skip for Ness, but it's really precise. It requires 4 frame perfect wall kicks, known as firsties, to maintain your speed, and it's really difficult to do. And I'm not doing it in this run, even though it would save about 45 seconds. It's just too inconsistent to do in the run, in my opinion. But another really interesting thing about this is the previous world record, the 919 by Fire Mario Fan, actually did do high roll skip, which is really impressive. However, because it's so difficult, it's hard to optimize the rest of the run, because similar to the really good Pikachu segment, it's like kind of like one of those things where it could take forever just to get it once, and then when you finally get it, that's like your one chance for the rest of the run to get the world record. So the run with high roll skip was very good, but I was able to beat it by just improving the other segments, because even though I lose 45 seconds from not doing high roll skip, because I'll have a lot more chances at these other stages, I was able to optimize them a lot more. So it was still a really impressive run, that run with high roll skip, but just by optimizing these other stages, I can make up for that 45 seconds. And this Ness run actually was really good overall. The final time was 8:35, which I'm really happy about. So next is just the two meme characters, Peter Griffin and Garfield. So I don't know why these two meme characters exist, but they do, so I figured I would get world record in them, and it was fun to do as well, even though these characters are kind of strange to play as. So Garfield he's basically a clone of Mario, but he has this really strange ability where after he runs for a bit, he'll start running at like 1,000 miles an hour, and you'd think this would be a good thing for a speedrun, like right there, but it can actually make him really difficult to control as well, because especially in some stages where you can fall off ledges, you don't always want to go running like 1,000 miles an hour, so trying to control this ability is probably the main part of trying to master the Garfield speedrun, and the best way to do this, I think, is just by jump kicking, because that kind of resets your momentum and prevents Garfield from doing the 1,000 mile per hour run, because it only happens when you run uninterrupted for a few seconds. The most difficult part of the Garfield run is actually the Bowser fight, because to grab Bowser's tail, normally you have to run around him for a few seconds, and if you do that in this run, then you'll go zooming off the stage. So you can't do that. You have to actually use a different strat where you wait for Bowser to run towards you and then you can grab him. And this is a little bit RNG as well because he doesn't always run towards you. Garfield also has a very good long jump, as you can see there. And even though these characters didn't have as much competition in terms of getting the world record, I did actually spend a decent amount of time just to get a relatively clean run with each of them, Garfield and Peter Griffin. Even though these runs are definitely improvable, they're a pretty good showcase of what these characters can do in the speedrun. So next I'll talk to you at the final run.
Here we go! Here we go! Here we go! Here we go!
Congratulations!
So last but not least is Peter Griffin, which, as you would expect, is a very bizarre speedrun character, especially in a Mario 64 ROM hack. So his jumps are actually really good, but he does not actually have any rollout, like after a dive or a slide kick, which is pretty unique. And his triple jump also sends you like 1,000 miles into the air, which is actually pretty useful for some stages like Brinstar especially. So he's not the best character, but he does have some unique abilities, and even though his animations are not even really fully done, as you can see, it is still kind of a fun speedrun to do, and this run in particular went perfectly fine. So after this run, we'll close out with some more commentary, and I'll show you those Luigi strats, which I didn't get to show you in the world record as well, because they are really cool. So talk to you soon. So here's my best segments for Hyrule and Corneria. The first one starts out much the same as the normal strat. We still do these jumps here at the beginning, triple jump to skip Hyrule this way, slight angled left wall kick to get up on this ledge. Then I actually press the D-pad right there to get a nice angle for that triple jump wall kick up to that platform, and we make it up here just a little bit sooner. So you can actually use the D-pad to move the camera, and because you need a very slight angle, I actually press the D-pad right, and then I just press up to get that new angle. And so the Corneria strat is basically we collect the red coins before we go on the ship here. So we get the ones on the right side of the ship out of the way here early. And then here's where the difference is. We actually hop down here get this coin, and then leave that other coin on the wing for now, activate the R-wing now, and while we're waiting for the R-wing to move around, we can actually take the time to get this coin, so it's almost like a 0-time coin, because we would have been waiting for the R-wing anyway. Just another small time save, but if I was ever trying to improve the world record, I would probably have to go for both of these strats, even though they are risky. And these strats were actually in the previous world record by Moonshine X3. So yeah, that'll do it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed all these world records as much as I did going to get them. And thank you again to Pasta Power for creating this hack. It's an amazing hack. I think it's probably my favorite Mario 64 ROM hack, which says a lot because I've been playing them ever since the very first handful of ROM hacks were ever released, such as the Missing Stars back in the day, so Super Melee Adventure 64 is definitely one of my favorites. I might also submit this run to run live at a speedrun marathon hosted by the Mario 64 ROM Hack Discord, which I'll link in the description. They usually have a marathon every winter and summer, so maybe I'll submit this to that, and if I do, I'll be sure to post about it on Twitter, and you can also join the Mario 64 ROM Hack Discord with the link down below. So if you enjoyed this run, be sure to like and subscribe, and also, if you haven't already, you can follow me on Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram down below. And if you want to see more Mario 64 speedruns, you can check that out in the playlist in the end screen. Thank you all for watching, and hope you enjoyed.